So thereafter we come to the most powerful authority, and that is the Prime Minister in Council. Article 74, 75 and onwards. Now in a constitution we have Prime Minister to aid and advise the President in discharge of his functions. Prime Minister is elected directly from a constituency, a large constituency, and he is the elected head of the largest political party in Parliament, and on his advice the ministers are appointed by President. And in the Council of Ministers he is not primus inter pares, that is first among equals, but he is much superior, he enjoys much superior power than his colleagues in the Council of Ministers. And now this authority of Prime Minister, being head of the political party and being enjoying the support amongst the populace directly, lest this authority as Prime Minister should become an absolutist and subverting democracy and creating a kind of totalitarian state, our constitutional makers constituted the institution of President. Now this office of President, he stands at a higher pedestal. He enjoys more moral authority. He enjoys the support of not only the government in power, but of the opposition, because all the legislative assemblies also vote for him, and he should get more than 50% of the vote. Now he was to exercise his powers to check the unbridled, lest it should be unbridled power of the Prime Minister in office. But the thing has been that from the very beginning of the working of the Constitution, Prime Ministers in office have tried to encroach upon the powers of the Presidents. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was very critical of it. And the final blow came by the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution. Earlier the clause, this Article 74 of the Constitution, it read that there shall be, we should be very particular about the words, so let me read. So there shall be Council of Ministers with Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise the President in the exercise of his functions. That's all. So this was the original article, but by virtue of this amendment, this clause 1 was substituted, and the section 13, it amended the article 74, and what we got is, there shall be Council of Ministers with Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise President, who shall in the exercise of his functions act in accordance with such advice. Now this 42nd Amendment has given such a blow to the Constitution of India, eroding the principle of checks and balances that was very delicately it made a part of this Constitution of India, that this Constitution, this whole edifice of the Constitution of India, it became lopsided. It tilted in favor of the Prime Minister, and because of that, all the maladies that we see afflicting our Constitution, afflicting our state, they are a product of that. Now what happened is that this reduced the office of president, this 42nd amendment, reduced the office of president to that of a titular head, just a rubber stamp president who is to just put his seal on all the decisions that are taken by the Prime Minister. Now an argument is forwarded that because the Prime Minister in Council is answerable to the Parliament, so if you give the real power to the President and then make Prime Minister answerable, that creates a kind of anomaly. So I also thought over that, and firstly, the thing is why I argue that the President is not just the titular head. There are 2-3 points that I would like to make. One is, you see the election of the President. If he was to be made just a titular head, just like the monarch of England, he could have been nominated by the political party in power. Why such a vast election process where all the states, the union, both the houses, they are involved, and elected members only? Secondly, you see his removal. It's through the process of impeachment. That process of removal is prescribed for the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. See the immense powers that the Supreme Court and High Court judges enjoy. And in comparison, see the President of India. Thirdly, the oath. That's very important. It's only President and Vice President of India whose oaths are provided, incorporated in the Constitution itself. Rest all, including Prime Minister, even in the judges of the superior courts, their oaths are incorporated in 3rd schedule of the Constitution. Oath of the President shows that he is the guardian of the Constitution. It says that the President, he says that I will preserve, protect and defend the Constitution and law. Now these wordings, they are assigned to none else, not even the judges of the Supreme Court. They only say we uphold the Constitution. You believe this oath was just some literary composition that was made by some member of the Constituent Assembly. This was all deliberately incorporated. Even Vice President, whose oath is also in the Constitution, he also does not have this oath. So this oath says that President is the guardian of the Constitution of India. So he is to preserve, protect the Constitution. Now how this is to be done, this is my own view, this is my own suggestion, and the thinkers, the scholars, they can have their own suggestions on this point. There are in two capacities, President of India, he performs his duty. One is as head of the government, and another is as guardian of Constitution. So far as head of government is concerned, then whatever the decisions the government takes, he should normally accept those without much difficulty. Even their presidents have asserted themselves. We know of the presidents, former President Gyani Zail Singh, he withheld his assent because they don't have the power of veto like the President of America, but he exercised pocket veto because he said, I will not give assent because there is no time assigned to it. Then we have our President, Mr. Venkataraman. He refused to give assent to a bill that gave pensionary benefits to the members of Parliament. He said this is nothing but self-aggrandizement. So in these matters, normally President should give his assent because Prime Minister is answerable to the Parliament, so President should give his assent. But as the guardian of the constitution. He should have his own say. Like we have the institutions of Comptroller and Auditor General, we have Election Commission, we have the judges of the superior courts, and we have governors. You see how much controversial these appointments have been. So in these appointments, President should have final say. I suggest that the government of the day should suggest a panel of names. It should recommend a panel of names to the President, and the President, in consultation with the opposition parties, with the intelligence agencies, the media, and all he may like to consult. After consultations, he should make the final selection, appointments, and that should be open to judicial review. And if presidents can follow the precedent laid by former President Mr. K.R. Narayanan, that he would give even reasons. So what were the reasons to take a decision? So that would be better. And so far as judiciary is concerned, now NTSC has been struck down. We may have it in some amended form, or collegium system that is working together today. So the collegium may recommend a panel to the President, and he should make a final selection after consultations with all, even bar councils, they can be consulted. And that decision should not be open to judicial review, that be reviewed by some other authority. We need some judicial accountability commission or something that would review. And I believe if this is done, because when all these institutions, election commissions, CAG and others, when their appointments are made by the Prime Minister, surely they'll be Prime Minister, they'll be conformists. We understand. So that actually makes democracy very weak. So all that ails democracy, all the maladies, they are product of that. So I am leaving you today with this thought that Section 13 needs to be done away with, or it be amended. Further, the Article 74, so that balance that is intricate, that is enshrined in the Constitution of India, that is inherent in our Constitution, that principle of checks and balances, that is re-ensured. And I believe our Constitution of India is the panacea for the maladies that afflict our state today. So, namaskar.